In the annals of American history, few documents hold as much significance as the Declaration of Independence. Adopted on July 4, 1776, this monumental text not only articulated the American colony's aspirations for freedom, but also laid the foundation for a new nation. The journey to July 4, 1776, was marked by escalating tensions between the 13 colonies in Great Britain, particularly after 1763. This period witnessed a deterioration in relations, fueled by economic disputes and differing views on governance. The end of the French and Indian War in 1763 left Britain heavily indebted. Seeking revenue, Britain turned to its colonies, implementing policies that were seen as exploitative. This period marked a shift in the colonial relationship, where issues of trade, taxes, and duties on goods became contentious points, reflecting the growing divide between colonial aspirations and British mercantilist policies. A pivotal moment came with the Stamp Act of 1765, which imposed a direct tax on all printed materials in the North American colonies. The act not only burdened the economically vital sectors of colonial society, such as printers and lawyers, but also represented an unprecedented step by Britain to raise revenue directly from the colonies. The act sparked widespread hostility and protests, with the slogan, "No taxation without representation," capturing the colonial dissent. This resistance culminated in the Stamp Act Congress, a unified colonial response that petitioned for the act's repeal. Following the repeal of the Stamp Act in 1766, Britain continued to tax the colonies through various means, including the Townshend Acts. These acts further strained relations and set the stage for the American Revolution. Amidst these tensions, Thomas Paine's pamphlet, Common Sense, published in January 1776, emerged as a transformative text. It argued compellingly for independence, critiquing the monarchy and advocating for a new form of government based on self-rule. Its widespread popularity, with about 500,000 copies in circulation by the end of the war, exerted considerable influence on public opinion and pressured colonial leaders towards independence. Paine's ideas resonated deeply, contributing significantly to the drafting of new state constitutions and setting the colonies firmly on the path to declaring independence. The genesis of the Declaration of Independence was a concerted effort by the Committee of Five, a group constituted by the Second Continental Congress. This committee, comprising John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, Robert Livingston, and Roger Sherman, embarked on their historical task from June 11th to July 5th, 1776. The process began with the appointment of this committee on June 11th, following the proposal for independence known as the Lee Resolution. Despite the absence of detailed minutes, it is widely acknowledged that Jefferson, with his eloquent writing style, was tasked with drafting the document. Over 17 days, he crafted a draft which underwent considerable revisions from the committee and the Congress. Jefferson's original draft included criticisms of the British monarchy and the slave trade, which were subsequently removed to maintain colonial unity and avoid offending slaveholding states. On July 3rd, the Committee of the Whole of Congress reviewed the draft, making significant edits, including the removal of a passage critical of the British people and a denunciation of slavery. The formal adoption of the edited text occurred on the morning of July 4th. The Committee of Five then prepared a fair copy for the printer, John Dunlap, which was released as the Dunlap Broadside on July 5th, marking the end of the committee's work. The Declaration of Independence is a masterful statement of American values and grievances against British rule. Central to the document are 27 grievances against King George III, detailing various abuses of power and violations of American rights. These grievances ranged from imposing taxes without consent and obstructing the administration of justice to keeping standing armies in peacetime without legislative consent and cutting off trade with the rest of the world. This litany of complaints underscored the colony's experiences of tyranny and justified their pursuit of independence. The Declaration also famously articulated the unalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. These principles, inspired by Enlightenment thinking and the political philosophy of figures like John Locke, underscored the document's philosophical foundation. The Declaration's introduction of these ideals signified a radical shift in the concept of governance, emphasizing the rights of individuals and the legitimacy of revolution against oppressive rule. Finally, the Declaration of Independence was signed by 56 delegates, representing a diverse group from the 13 colonies. These signatories have since been recognized as the nation's founding fathers, their names synonymous with the birth of American democracy. The document, widely circulated and reprinted, became a cornerstone of American political thought and identity. In crafting the Declaration of Independence, the Committee of Five, led by Jefferson, encapsulated the collective aspirations and grievances of the American colonies. The document not only declared independence from British rule, but also laid the philosophical groundwork for a new nation founded on principles of liberty and equality. As we move to the next section, we'll explore the immediate aftermath of the Declaration, examining its impact on the American Revolution and its lasting legacy in shaping the United States. The widespread distribution of the Declaration of Independence began with the creation of the Dunlap broadsides, named after John Dunlap, the printer who produced these first editions. On the night of July 4-5, 1776, Dunlap printed approximately 200 copies of the Declaration. These broadsides were crucial in disseminating the Declaration as they were sent to various states and military units and posted in public areas. This ensured that the news of independence reached a wide audience, despite the absence of modern communication technologies. George Washington's troops, for instance, heard the Declaration read aloud on July 9th in New York City, followed by a symbolic act of rebellion against British rule when a statue of King George III was pulled down. The National Archives holds a rare Dunlap broadside, one of only 26 surviving copies. The Declaration of Independence had a profound global impact, serving as a template for countless movements for independence, self-determination, and revolution worldwide. It was the first successful Declaration of Independence in history, and its ideals of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, as well as the principles of the consent of the governed and resistance to tyranny, resonated globally. Notably, the Declaration was admired by figures like Hungarian nationalist Lajos Kossuth, who hailed it as a landmark in human history. The Declaration also played a significant role in the American Revolutionary War. Its final paragraph indicated that the United States was open for alliances and business, signaling to major powers like France and Spain the readiness of the newly declared nation for military, diplomatic, and commercial support. This aspect of the Declaration was crucial as the colonies needed substantial aid to sustain their struggle against Great Britain. The Declaration transformed the colonies from rebels within the British Empire to legitimate belligerents in an international conflict, a shift that was critical for securing foreign assistance, particularly from France following the American victory at the Battle of Saratoga in 1777. Over time, the Declaration inspired numerous other declarations of independence. More than half of the countries represented at the United Nations have founding documents echoing the American Declaration. These documents often arose from the disintegration of empires or confederations and typically asserted the sovereignty and independence of a people or state, taking direct inspiration from the American model. Examples include Venezuela in 1811 and Texas in 1836. In some cases, like Liberia in 1847 and Vietnam in 1945, the declarations explicitly reference the American Declaration's assertion of natural and inalienable rights. The distribution of the Dunlap broadside played a pivotal role in informing the American public of its and the world about the newly declared independence. The Declaration of Independence, through its inspiring principles and assertions, not only propelled the American Revolution, but also left an indelible mark on global history, influencing other nations to pursue their own paths to independence. The Declaration of Independence, with its immortal proclamation that all men are created equal, has evolved into a global symbol of human rights. This assertion, enshrined in its most famous sentence, has come to express a profound commitment to human equality. Over time, these principles transcended their original context, inspiring movements and documents worldwide that champion the inherent dignity and equal rights of all human beings. The egalitarian ideals of the Declaration significantly influenced the early women's rights and anti-slavery movements. The Declaration of Rights and Sentiments, crafted during the Seneca Falls Convention in 1848, echoed the Declaration's language, asserting the equality of men and women. This document marked a crucial step in advocating for women's rights, using the moral and philosophical groundwork laid by the Declaration. Similarly, the anti-slavery movement drew upon the Declaration's principles, challenging America to reconcile its practice of slavery with the professed belief in universal equality. Despite its aspirational language, the Declaration existed within the realities of its era, marked by profound contradictions. Thomas Jefferson, its principal author, owned slaves, reflecting the broader societal context where many signers did not envision full human equality as a goal. These contradictions highlight the complex nature of the Revolutionary era and the gradual progress toward realizing the Declaration's ideals. The Declaration of Independence laid the foundation for American political philosophy and the interpretation of the U.S. Constitution. It introduced revolutionary ideas like the consent of the governed and the right of the people to alter or abolish a government that betrayed their trust. Although conceived with a narrower definition of the people at the time, these principles have become essential markers of American ideals and continue to shape the nation's political landscape. The lasting impact of the Declaration of Independence on American society and the world is immeasurable. As a symbol of freedom and equality, it has influenced countless movements and discussions on human rights. Its articulation of democratic principles and the assertion of the people's sovereignty over their government have resonated through centuries, inspiring nations and individuals in their pursuit of liberty and justice. The Declaration's enduring significance lies in its universal appeal as a beacon of hope and a call to uphold the dignity and rights of all individuals.